The 458 SOCOM, let's check it out. One of the things I love about the AR-15 rifle is it's so versatile. I mean, there's so many things you can do to this rifle to suit it to just you, whatever your personal preference is. They've got parts out there to fit your needs or just your wants. But one of the things that really I love and get excited about is different calibers for the AR-15. You can go all the way from the standard 5.56, you can even shoot 22 rimfire, and you can move right up the line, still using pretty much all the basic parts of your mil-spec rifle. Most of the time with a change of a barrel, maybe a bolt carrier, but you're ready to go. But after Gothic Serpent in Mogadishu, a lot of the Special Operations Command guys started looking for something that had a little more knockdown power. 5.56, it took multiple rounds to take down dedicated enemy, and so they were really looking for something that one hit could take them out. In 2001 came the 458 SOCOM. Here's your 5.56 or 223, and here's the 458. What an awesome round. This makes the AR-15 a devastating rifle. But my first experience with the 458 SOCOM was at the Iraq Veteran 8888 YouTube shoot with the CMMG Anvil. And man, that thing's a beast. Now let's make sure the gun is unloaded. We're going to remove the magazine. It's empty. Check the chamber and it's empty. You know, having a big bore AR-15 is one thing that I've always really wanted. I really like the 50 Beowulf, and there's a number of other calibers out there, which the 458 SOCOM compares really closely to the 50 Beowulf. A lot in ballistics. There are some differences, and we're not really going to get into all that, but they are actually pretty close as far as the effect. Now to me, the big thing about the 458 SOCOM is it's like shooting a 45-70 out of an AR-15 rifle. And you know, the recoil is significantly greater, really, but more like a 12-gauge shotgun. It's, you know, it's solid, but it's not just over violent. You know, though, you're shooting that large projectile down the range. One of the great things about 458 SOCOM is that you use your standard lower for your AR. It uses standard AR-15 magazines. And you can use your standard AR-15 upper receiver, but we'll get into a little bit of some modifications that you need to make with the ejection port, just to allow that huge brass to come out. The handguard is a basic AR-15 style handguard. So really the big thing you need is your barrel, if you're going to get a muzzle device, and of course your gas block needs to be .936 to fit over the barrel because this barrel is very large. And this caliber was designed really for short range, up close and personal CQB. That was the reason it was designed. One of those rounds that just at close proximity you can put an assailant down. But of course one of the great things about that is it's also a great hunting caliber. Now the downside to the 458 SOCOM is that its range is really maximized at about 125 to 175 yards. You start getting out past that and the bullet really drops. And so that's one of the things about this caliber is limited, but it's an excellent brush gun. It'll blow through brush with no problem, especially if you're doing hog hunting or some kind of predator hunting. This would be an excellent caliber for that. It does use your standard AR-15 magazines, and of course I've got a mag pull. Hex mags work good, USGI mags, unless the bullet has some different shapes to it. I know with some of the flat nose bullets, I had a little bit of issue with the USGI mags that I didn't have with the polymer mags. But really the rifle was designed, or the caliber was designed, to shoot through your standard AR-15 magazine. The reason for that is because it didn't change a whole lot with US military mil spec. You know, you didn't have to change out your magazine, your lowers, all your parts were compatible. That's one of the big things about this. You're getting a really big caliber bullet, and here we have a 350 grain. This is from Black Butterfly Ammo. It's a very large projectile, yet firing through here, but you don't have to go to the AR-10 heavier platform, which makes it nice. So you have a lighter rifle, even though you have a heavier bullet. But even though you're using your standard AR-15 magazines, because of the thickness of the brass, it's pretty much a single stack. You get a 10 round capacity with your 30 round mag, you get a 7 round capacity with your 20 round mag, and even though it states you get a 3 round capacity with a 10 round mag, I was getting 4 in 10 rounds. And in a 40 round mag, you get 13 rounds. But you can see there's a lot of different offerings for this caliber. A lot of different specialty bullets. And one of the things though about this ammunition is that it is really expensive. Anywhere from about $35 for 20 rounds up to about $45 to $60 according to the round you're getting. So really, if you're not hand loading, this can get really expensive. And even then, it's a pretty expensive rifle to shoot. We were using some of the Black Butterfly ammo. We were using the 350 grain, which is right here on the left, and then 300 grain here on the right. We were going to do some chrono, and so we were getting some pretty good velocity with these 2 rounds. Now at the range, when you're taking a 300 to up to 600 grain bullet and you're firing it out of an AR-15, which typically takes the 5.56, there's a definite difference in recoil. You feel it on your shoulders, and according to the round, really they say that the 400 grain bullet is the worst as far as recoil, but 5 to 600 grain is actually easier. We were mainly shooting 300 to 350 grain bullets, and even those really gave your shoulder a workout. And after all the testing we did, we shot about 300 rounds, most of it from the bench, but we did shoot quite a bit in more of a standing, freehand, just firing it to see how it would handle. And to be honest with you, it was really easy to get those rounds on target at shorter distances. And again, this cartridge is made for about 125 to 150 yards. You start getting out to distance and it'll drop rapidly. In fact, we were shooting steel at 200 yards, and when I moved it out to 300 yards, you could really see the drop. But at 100 up to 200, really it wasn't that difficult to get rounds on target. This round though was made for, again, stopping an enemy, or it's a great hunting round. I mean, you're shooting hogs. This would be a superb round, especially in brush, heavy brush, things like that, or for police, military in urban situations. I mean, this caliber could really stop an assailant really quickly. Now to kind of give you an idea of size, we have the 5.56 or 223 right here on the right, and this is a 55 grain bullet. Next to the 300 grain SOCOM, and of course this has a ballistic tip. This ammunition is from Black Butterfly ammunition, Starline brass, and I think they're using SBR bullets. But this round is 6 times, or approximately 6 times, the size of your standard 5.56 as far as in weight. And then we had the 350 grain with the flat nose. This is, we were getting ballistically about 1,700 feet per second with the 350 and about 1,800 feet per second with the 300 grain. Now what that's going to do is generate about 2,500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, which is tremendous. With the 5.56 we're looking at about 3,200 feet per second and about just a little under 1,300 foot-pounds. So quite a bit of energy, and of course just the mass of this bullet is really going to be devastating as far as a hunting round or in CQB. And that's one of the reasons why this was designed. It was a one-shot man-stopper. Now Brownells offers a barrel kit for the 458 SOCOM. It really makes it pretty easy to transform your standard AR-15 into the 458 caliber. The barrel is a 16-inch 416R stainless barrel. It does have the 5R rifling, which is going to help with accuracy. It does come with a proprietary muzzle brake. One of the things about the muzzle brake is the thread pitch, and it's 3/4 by 24-inch threads. And they also include the 458 bolt that goes into your standard AR-15 or M16 bolt carrier. And it has a .936 gas block. And really that's all you need to convert your rifle. Now Brownells does have expanded ejection port AR-15 receivers that you can just install. They were out of stock, so I had my good friend Robbie Wheaton at Wheaton Arms to mill out this ejection port to make it large enough to be able to, handle this type brass. One of the problems was when we first did it, it was a little bit too small and I was having some issues with the brass getting trapped. So we went back in and expanded it just a little bit more, and then we didn't have any issues after that. But that's one of the problems that, really probably the biggest problem that I faced was just the ejection port size. And once we took care of that, we didn't have any problems. But once we got the ejection port milled out, I just took some Aluma Black and went in and cleaned it up, and it looks as good as new. So it was a really nice little process to be able to just to open this up, and it really didn't take a whole lot to get this to where you needed to. We were using one of the Primary Arms 1x8 ACSS reticle scopes, and this is one of their premium scopes. It's a 34mm tube. We have it in an American Defense quick detach mount. And this scope will handle whatever. I mean, these things are built like tanks. This is a really beautiful scope. It's a first focal plane scope. We were also using the Hogue pistol grip and stock, and I love this rubber overmold. It even has a butt pad back here, which makes it nice for the 458 SOCOM. But these are becoming some of my favorite stocks. They're really very ergonomic, and I love the overmold here and also with the pistol grip. We went with the Magpul offset sights. These are great, and also one of the BCM gunfighter charging handles. And the Handguard is one of the Advanced Armament Corporation square drop handguards. It's made for the key mod or the square drop attachment points. Advanced Armament makes really good stuff, and this is a really smooth handguard. I think it's 13.5 inches. We will have a video following this one that's going to show the build process and all the different parts that went into putting this together. And also with the milling work that went into the upper receiver, and a lot more details if you're interested in how this came together. This was a lot of fun, and really looking to get this not only out to the range, but maybe out to the field and do a little hog hunting. Now again, these barrel sets are available at Brownells.com. In fact, all the parts on here are available at Brownells. But again, it's $379 for the barrel, the muzzle brake, the bolt. That way you can just install it into your standard AR-15 platform. So, it's a lot of fun. It does have a lot of potential, especially for hunting or for a home defense round. This would be devastating. But this was made again for close quarter, for military purposes. Now, are they going to use it? That remains to be seen. But the caliber has been around since 2001, so it's really built up a good track record. The one thing you'll definitely want to do is reload, because this is expensive to shoot. And if you're looking for some reasonably priced 458 SOCOM ammunition, the Black Butterfly was some of the cheapest I found. In fact, starting out at about $35 a box. I went up to Palmetto State Armory and picked up some SBR, and it was about 40-something bucks each per box. So a little bit better price, and I really love the way they pack these. Now I want to thank Robbie Wheaton at Wheaton Arms for doing the milling work here on the ejection port. That really helped to get things going, and also for taking it out with me and doing a lot of tests. We had a really big time, and also my good friend Ben Taylor that went out with us as well to shoot. This rifle is just one of those that you take out and it makes it an event. You know, you take your AR out and it's fun, you shoot and everything else, but this is really a memorable time. In fact, all the guys, when they were at the range, came up. They were just astounded at the size of this caliber. And I want to thank Brownells for sending the barrel kit and the black butterfly ammunition. What's really funny is these guys are probably about 10 minutes from me here in South Carolina. And so when I realized that, I got in touch with them, and we're going to be doing some more with the 458 coming up. I think this is an incredible round. This is not for everyone. This is something, especially if you're hog hunting, this would be a great round. You know, again, if you just want to have a lot of fun at the range and you want something big bore, I mean, me personally, I love big bore. It's just a lot of fun. There's a lot you can do with this and the potential of this kind of round. But we're going to be doing a lot more testing with it just to see how things go. But the 458 SOCOM, this is a great round. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Is how versatile. Now after Gothic Serpent, is that right?
It's not bad at all. I thought it was going to kick more than that.